Hello, everyone. Hello. If you catch this video late, uh, you just catch it late. Wow, it's been a minute. Uh, I think I've been thinking about this a lot lately. These videos are going to be just more about for the, just more for the S&B family, since most people can't really understand the majority can't understand any of what I'm talking about, really, and that is by design. So, as you guys can see in the title, taxes are a form of income, but not for debt slaves because it's against the laws of mathematics. Man, it's been about 10 years since I quit my job. I quit my job in 2016 and it's been about 10 years and I've learned so much. I've learned so much. But the most thing I've learned is about taxes. Taxes are amazing when you're debt free and own a business. Okay, let's just put it that way. When you're debt free and own a business, taxes are absolutely amazing. It never it never stops or ceases to amaze me the new things I find. But one thing I have learned a lot is that when you get this SMD knowledge, what's up, Omanike? Can you hear me okay? Just make sure of that. The longer, like I said, I've been out, I mean, I quit my job in 2016, but I've been out of debt for longer than that. I think I completely got debt free in 15, I believe. Yeah, I think 15. And since I've been out, I realized that in order to, when you choose to do this, okay, cool. When you do this, your mind has to be strong, very strong to handle what is about the change that is about to happen for you because it has definitely changed for me. Like in the beginning, it was just, oh, I'm debt free, I have no debt, you had this feeling of freedom, but that was just the beginning. And then I slowly learned about taxes, and but as I continue to grow, being a business owner and taxes, it just keeps growing and growing more and more knowledge. But again, the mind has to be strong to accept what capitalism really is. And now that I know, there is no going back. It's almost like, not almost like, you see that millions of people are living their lives in the United States of America and own nothing. They are literally slaves. Capitalism, think about it, S&D family, think about it. And you can read through the history books. Capitalism in the United States was built on physical slavery. It's its foundation. It cannot change. In order for capitalism, this type of economy that we're in, it would have to be tore down. And that's like changing the foundation of your house. You can't change the foundation of your house without tearing the whole house down, then change the foundation and build back up. It's the same thing. So I realize and have accepted that it cannot change. So it's simply as change from physical to invisible. And so understanding this, so when I see like news talk about, you know, healthcare and housing and the prices of stuff and how, in the gas prices, how things increase every year. All of that is just the best way I can describe to you is just talk. Okay, it's just talk because debt slaves own nothing, not even themselves, absolutely nothing. They can't save for retirement. They can't invest in anything. They can't invest in the stock market. They can't do anything, right? So recently, I might be skipping all over the place because this is just something that came to me and it's more for you guys. So I remember when I first quit my job, right? Or before quitting, first thing that comes to my mind, what am I going to do about healthcare insurance? That's the, these are all things. First I had to get over the fear of quitting a job. And then you got to get, these are all fears in place to make a person not do what I've done thus far. Okay? These are things I know I know you think about it, but it really is that. A lot of these things are big fears, false evidence appearing real psychologically to prevent you from making this move, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was scary at first, quitting the job. What am I gonna do? Because I was rocking without healthcare for a while. But let me tell you what this has done. I'm skipping all over the place, but let me tell you something. The benefit of not having, well, I don't really call it. Well, I don't know if it's a benefit or not. But what it did was make me take charge more of my health. It made me more aware of uh, of taking in charge of my health, watching what I eat, knowing I have high blood pressure, knowing I can't really eat certain things. When I had a job and insurance, I really didn't think about it because unconsciously I'm thinking, well, if I get sick, it's not a big deal. I have insurance. I go to the doctor, and the doctor will tell me what to eat and did it. No, but when you don't have that backup, it made me more conscious of my health and awareness of it. Food doesn't rule me and control me like that, like I have to eat. Because in our society, if you open up social media, there's always a new place they're trying to show you to eat, where Facebook Marketplace, this place, that place, eat, 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 right? Which connects with the healthcare system. This is why it's so expensive and crazy prices and premiums and all this other stuff, because the majority of people in the world don't give a shit about their health. They just eat whatever nonstop all through the day, through the night, and then are surprised when health problems happen. I have inherited high blood pressure, right? I must take medicine. I have to, because I tried to stop, it just doesn't happen, right? But I can I am aware of what's that might make it worse, and I just don't allow it because food doesn't control me anymore. But anyway, it leads to what I've discovered recently about being a business owner and healthcare, okay? Health insurance, right? So I reached out to Andre recently, about a day or two ago via email, and I'm like, what do the wealthy people do regarding healthcare? What do they do? Because I know they don't, like, healthcare premiums they go by your income. So if a person's making $1 million or $2 million, they're going to charge them premiums based on their $2 million income. I said, I don't think so. I don't think wealthy people would do that. I just don't. I didn't believe it. Right. So he sends me this video, and I'll probably put it in the description later. But he sends me this video, and this video breaks down how the wealthy people do things. Okay, let's just put it that way. And I realized as I'm listening to it, I had to keep my mind from going into a state of, oh my God, I wish I would have known this a long time ago. Uh, I wish I would have started a long time ago. It's going to take me forever to catch up and blah blah blah. Right? I had to cut that off because those are all the fears making up the unknown. But so this is what I learned with from the little bit of the video that I got. Right? So as a business owner, I I am choosing to when November comes up, I'm going to get what's called like a bronze plan, and don't quote me on it, but a plan that has a high deductible with low premiums. Okay, so say like the deductible is $10,000. Okay, but it will have a low premium, a monthly premium. But as a business owner that's taxed as an S corp, and here's where the taxes come in for people that when you people in debt can't do this because you can't save money on tax because you have to have real money to be able to do this, right? So as a business owner, I can create what's called an HRA, a health reimbursement account, right? And this health reimbursement account, it can be funded by my business as a business expense, which lowering my tax bracket, and then from the HRA, I can pay my premiums, my monthly insurance premiums with the HRA. So what that means is this: lowering my taxes, my business taxes down, and then the money that's inside the HRA, I can use that to pay for my premiums, which is tax free. These are things that I would have never looked into unless I took this step to break out of the debt matrix, get over the fear of not having health insurance for a little while, and figure this out because I know I had to figure it out. So what my plan is this: I have a, I have, and this is these wonderful things that I'm figuring out, right? So with the plan, with this particular bronze plan in place, so any kind of catastrophe that happens, like if I have a heart attack or I needed some major surgery that's going to run into the hundreds and thousands of dollars, if I have a $10,000 deductible, I will have the $10,000 to pay whatever the deductible, and the rest will be covered by my insurance plan. Okay. It's no different than look at it as your car insurance because S&D family, you guys all know, right? You get the highest deductible on your car insurance plan because your car's paid off. It really doesn't matter, right? And then if you get in an accident, you know you're going to have the $1,000, $1,500 to cover your car or the damages or whatever because it's the same thing with healthcare insurance. And another thing I discovered, there are a few doctors, well, there's a lot of doctors out there that simply do not want to deal with the insurance companies. They just don't, because there's a, well, as a as a as a person with a job all my life, right? I get a job. This is the insurance. You got all these rules in network. You only can go to see these doctors. You got to get referrals and this and that and all this other stuff because you gotta follow the rules of the insurance that the job has, right? Well, there's some doctors out there, some primary doctors that they have their own. They can set up a plan for you within their office directly. You can pay them directly, which is reduced rates. You guys have no idea how much the price difference is when dealing with doctors directly and you're paying them money. The price difference is astronomically different than the insurance prices. Okay, it's bananas, right? But anyway, with that said, I can use my HRA card to pay for the services of the doctor directly. It's like paying out of pocket, but I'm paying with tax-free money. So not only am I paying a reduced price for the service that I need, because I don't go to the doctor all the time. I don't do that. I never have went to the doctor all the time. It was almost like a waste of money, right? Yeah, it's the same thing, Omanike. Same thing with the dentist. Exact same thing. But instead of paying cash, I'll use my HRA card, and there's HSA cards for people with jobs, and you pay it with tax-free money. These are the benefits that you could do when you're debt-free and you own your own business. So when I go to the doctor, they might have a special plan set up for direct primary care people, reduced prices, and I pay with my HRA card. It's unbelievable. I would have never, I would have never known to even share this with you guys if I didn't do it first. There's like double tax savings, the things that I've discovered that debt slaves cannot do, it just keeps going on and on. And I'm assuming the more money I make, well, listening to that video, the more money I make, the more things I'm going to find. And one thing I realized, and I'm not making $1 million a year. I'm not even there yet. Imagine the tax benefits as a business owner who's debt free, personal and business, making $1 million a year, making $2 million a year. There's more to come that I can't see because I'm just not there yet. There's no reason for me to know what multimillionaires do yet because I'm not there yet. All I can do is see what I can see now. So people, for those SMD family, for those of you that have jobs, you probably already know this, but you can see you can try the tax benefits yourself. So say like you have an HSA card now, you funded your HSA, right? When you go, first of all, there's a list of things that if you go to your HR, there's a list of things that you can buy that are that are that are comfortable. I mean, not comfortable, things that you can buy on this list legally via the IRS with tax-free money. So you get if you put $5,000, or let's just keep it simple, $1,000 into your HRA, you take $1,000 off of your taxable income for putting it in there. And then that $1,000 that you put in there, you can go buy things, certain things, not anything, certain things with tax-free money. That's just a simple way you can do things right now as with a job. So imagine me now with a business. I can fund my HRA through the business, which reduces the business's taxable income, and then I can take that HRA money and pay for my insurance premiums with tax-free money. And now I have my business is taxed as an S corp, which is saving me even more money. So this is what I really suggest people do. Okay, when you start your business, find a good business accountant. That's key. Find a good business accountant. You want that. You want, like the business accountant I have, I said, okay, I hear about the S corp. Please let me know when it's a good time for me to switch over to an S corp. And they let me know, and then they show me the differences. I don't really understand all the details, nor do I need to understand all the details, as long as they understand that do whatever it takes to save me money on taxes. The reason why I can do it because I'm debt free. When my business accountant is done with my taxes or some special thing I need them to do, when they send me the bill, guess what? I pay it that day or the next day. I promise you, when you pay these people, don't make them wait. They When I need them to do something, they are on it. They do it immediately and professionally. And the longer you're out, let me put it this way, the more you, not even the longer you're out, the more you become free in understanding how it really works. So, for example, when I hear like the news of just fraud, uh, inflation, gas prices, food prices going up, it's not really uh, uh, it's all it's they do whatever they want to slaves. Every time you hear that stuff on the news, I want you to understand. Think of physical slaves. Think of the rights that they had. They had to just do what they were told by their masters. Shut up. Get over there. This is what you're going to live in. Just think about it. Just go back to the movie. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They just can't see it. Physical slavery was way less profitable than than psychological slavery, because it doesn't matter what color you are. It did as a black person, we were growing up thinking there were only black slaves. No, there were slaves of all colors and races all over the world. They was everywhere. They just highlight, maybe we were the majority. But I look at, like, I think about slavery as, it looked like the majority of slaves were black people. But if you look at capitalism in the debt matrix has a totem pole. And black people in capitalism, in the in the debt matrix, are at the bottom of the totem pole. We are the ones, think about it. We are the ones that don't hardly own any businesses. All the people that come from other countries, where do they start businesses? In the black neighborhoods. Foreigners don't come over here and go into, I guarantee you, like, foreigners are not coming over here into America and opening up business in Chinatown. They're not doing that. Why? Because the Chinese would not allow that. They're not coming over and opening business in Jewish communities, uh, uh, even in East Indian communities. East Indian people, they're killing it. They have their own communities, uh, areas. When you go into a community, you know you're in the Indian community. You know you're in Chinatown. You know you're in Ukrainians. You know, because their names are all over there in their own languages. When you go into a community and you see uh, uh, signs written into their language, that means they're telling us that you are in their community. Black people are not going into those areas and opening up business, but they all come and open up in black areas. But you know why? Because we're at the bottom of the totem pole. It's obvious. Now imagine not only being a debt slave, but being at the bottom of the totem pole and debt slave. Those now, everybody, all races are in the debt matrix. Okay, all of them are in the debt matrix, and every single person in the debt matrix cannot save money on taxes because they're in debt. You can't do that. That's mathematically impossible. So when I go around uh, in my daily life, I'm not impressed by cars, houses, uh, people that own businesses, because debt slaves own businesses. They just create their own job. So imagine being a debt slave that can't save money on taxes, and then you open up a business with the same exact mental mind state that you were born in. And this is the wild, craziest thing about the debt matrix, okay? The debt matrix is one single perspective of capitalism, one that millions of people are part of, millions of people cannot save money on taxes. That's why they're always talking about, oh my God, the taxes are so high here and this and that. Anybody here complaining about taxes? It Since capitalism is a perspective, right? So are the financial words associated with it. So when you hear somebody complain about taxes, you have to know their perspective of taxes. Are you talking to, is a person that's complaining about taxes with a brand new finance iPhone in their hand, with a mortgage and car payments? You can't pay attention to them. You don't know. Or when somebody uses the word expensive, who's using the word? When you hear somebody complaining about gas prices, who's complaining about gas prices? A person with car payments? You don't know their interest rate. You don't know the interest rate of their credit card because remember, if they're using, listen, if they're complaining about gas prices and they have a finance car, they have no choice but to finance the gas for that car because they didn't have the money for the car. You see all these Teslas rolling around everywhere. You would think everybody with a Tesla must have money. No, they're financed. Oh, we're saving money on get. No, you're not. You're not saving anything because you didn't. People that don't have the money for the Tesla, but then they think they're saving money not buying gas. You have to listen to what they're saying. This is why taxes are a form of income. The wealthy been knowing this. That's why they never complain. You don't hear now. Don't get me wrong. President Trump, he drops hints, a lot of hints of when he even directly says, "I don't pay taxes." Now, the average person, debt slave, when they hear that, they don't really know what President Trump is saying when he says, "I don't pay taxes." They'll automatically assume, oh, because he's the president, and oh, he's because he's rich. Well, yeah, that's true. He doesn't pay taxes because he's wealthy. That is true. That is true. You have to have money, and I'm not saying a lot of money. You can't be in debt. Let me rephrase that. You can't be in debt to save money on taxes. You can't. So let me give you an example of how the stock market really works so you guys can really understand how the stock market really works. Debt slaves have no money for anything. They have no money to invest in the stock market at all. Okay. Now you're probably thinking, well, how are they doing it? They're borrowing the money. So when a business opens up in the stock market, right? Instead of getting direct loans from the bank to fund their business, they get the people, the debt slaves, to go borrow the money to invest in their companies indirectly from the bank. They can't lose. So if a debt slave invests borrowed money from the bank to invest in a stock, if they don't have any money to pay the bank back, it's on them. The money's still in the business. The money still goes there for the business. So they get indirect loans from the bank. That's how it really works. That's why they have what's called margin for stock market. That's to take a loan and invest. If they stopped you, if the stock market said we're no longer allowing margin, the stock market wouldn't exist. If the bank said we're no longer giving mortgages to people, the housing market wouldn't exist. The IRS knows debt slaves cannot save money on taxes. This is why they hate it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think or say. These are the laws of mathematics. The laws. Because you're right, Omanike, because investing with margin says clearly you don't have the money to invest if you're using margin. That's what it says. No different than a car payment or a car. You go finance a car. You're financing the car because you don't have the money to buy it. Imagine when a person goes to buy a car, to finance a car, they're financing the price of the car and the taxes. When they put hey, we want the money down, 10 down, I mean, excuse me, a couple, $2 or $3,000 down. Who knows what that money really for the business, for the car place? Who knows? It doesn't really matter. Debt slaves finance taxes. That's why they don't like them. For here's it's let's go back to the health insurance. Like when you think about health insurance, you're like, oh, it's so expensive. Let me tell you why it's expensive. What's up, James? Let me tell you why it's expensive. Because first of all, the majority of people don't really care about their health. They're eating whatever, how much of whatever. They don't care what's in it. It doesn't matter. Think about it. Like uh, chicken. Let's just use chicken for example. Chicken is sold all day, every day, 24 hours a day, and out of millions of places. We're not raising chicken that fast. That's not true. There is no way chickens are being. How is it happening? I don't know, but don't it's not what you think it is. I know that. We'll never know. It doesn't matter because they don't have to tell debt slaves nothing. They tell debt slaves what they want to tell them. I want you guys to really focus in on this. It's imagine back in the days when the physical slavery was existed. Do you think the owners, you can go check out a movie, you can go look at the movie. Do you think the owners told the slaves everything about their business and how things work? Absolutely not. They were only told what they decided to tell them. It is no different today. It's the same thing. So imagine debt slaves living in the debt matrix, a single perspective of capitalism. They don't know nothing about taxes, nothing, nor will they ever know. They will never know taxes are a form of income. So back to the healthcare thing, like we got all these foreigners coming in here, coming to the country for the World Cup, right? And they're just so amazed about our food and the sizes and the portions. Well, they're only here on vacation. They don't know if you eat that shit every day, you're going to have a problem with your health. You're going to have a problem. This is where the healthcare system kicks in. They already know that. This is why they charge accordingly. If you don't care, they don't care either. It's profit. Oh, I don't know why my health is this and that. You go to the doctor and they just put you on pills because that's what they're told to do. Here's the pill. This pill's gonna fix that. They don't say, hey man, maybe you should stop eating all that sodium and salt and fat and sugar all day, every day. They're not gonna tell you that. That's not profitable. You got to have a job to have healthcare insurance to even afford it. If you don't have a job, you're screwed. Well, that's what you think. That's what they want you to believe. Or you could just take charge of your own health. You can do it. I'm only saying it now to you because I forced myself to go without any insurance. That scares the shit out of you. Anybody like you hear all these notice. I want you guys to pay attention to all these entrepreneurs on social media and hey, get out there, do it. They never talk about, hey, how are you covering yourself with health insurance? Nobody. They all notice how they always skip over that. They never talk about it. Never. You know why? Because the majority of those people are in debt. They're in debt. They don't know what to do to be able to. Uh, I don't even know the word for it to figure out how to do it the correct way. Because there is the correct way, debt-free way. First of all, take charge of your own health. That's what I did. I just took charge of my own health. Find a local doctor that does primary care out of their office, and they can set you up with an in-house plan that's way cheaper than insurance. They don't have to deal with all the paperwork and administrative. All that shit drops the price way down, and then you pay it with the HRA card, HSA card, tax free. Have a I come November, I will have a plan for catastrophes that my business, listen, that my business is going to pay for my premiums. Do you understand? My business is going to pay for my insurance premiums, tax free. So if anything major ever happens, I'm ready for it. Hey, you got to have heart surgery. Okay, I'm ready. I pay my $10,000 deductible. I'm good. I don't care if it costs $1 million. It doesn't matter to me. One second, I got some water. And say like that happened. I had to have a major surgery, and this surgery was going to cost two, three, $400,000, and I have a $10,000 deductible. Guess how I'm going to pay my $10,000 deductible with my HRA card, tax free $10,000. That same $10,000 that it had taken off of my taxable income of my business. I would not I would not have known to even share this information with you guys if I did not do it first. No different than when I first quit my job and shared it with you guys. I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be a way. There's a way that the wealthy are doing it, and there's bigger ways, but When I get up there in money, I'll know those ways too. But right now, I just stay in my income range. The knowledge I need to know right now is the knowledge I need to know right now. But it also, the wonderful thing about doing this scary, scary thing, rolling with no insurance, it forced me to understand how the system works. No different than the fear I had when I first quit my six-figure job. I still had the same fear. I was terrified. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here on the mic talking to you guys about it now. I wouldn't know about taxes. Taxes are a form of income. I would have never in a million years known. I don't want you guys to think that I'm walking around, I was carefree, wasn't worried, didn't have moments alone that I might have been crying or scared or terrified. Not at all. I had all that, all that. But I always kept in mind fears, false evidence appearing real psychologically. The fears the fears run rampant in the unknown. When you don't know, it's going to say, "Hey, this could possibly happen. Oh my God, you just never know. You might have this." That's all used in capitalism. Fear is used in capitalism. That's why S&B family. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Limit your time on social media. Lim- because fear, think about it, all the fears, the majority are debt slaves. So all their fears are inside social media. And if you go in there and start watching, one of their fears is going to catch you because one of those fears is going to be your fears. That you might not have all their fears, but one of them is going to be, you don't have to say anything. It's You don't have to say a word. You're just watching and feel your body when you come across one of those fears that connect with you. Now you're taking your body through an unnecessary thing that's not, listen, that's not even happening. You're not even close because S&D family, I want you guys to understand, S&D family, we are very, very, very rare. Our issues or fears are nowhere near death slaves' fears, nowhere near. But if you catch yourself up in there, because most of us came from the debt matrix, it's still traces of survival mode, still traces of what ifs. What if now, especially now that we're free from the debt matrix, fear of ever falling back into it because of some kind of debt or something. I get it. I get it. But if you limit yourself on social media, even if you come across something on social media and some kind of fear, just keep scrolling, move. Don't look at it too long because it will affect you. It will. Because they all get in there and they just spew their fears. They don't want to do anything about it. They just keep talking about it. Somebody will come in there, talk about some kind of loss or how the job did them bad, and then everybody jumps in the comment. All you gotta do is read the comments. Everybody comes in the oh, what about? Oh, I was worse. My boss did this, and I suffered that, and my bill was this. And then they start comparing their fears. You cannot get involved. Do not put your body, and this is real. Let me tell you something. This is real, and people don't really get it. You can. This is how can I put this? You are the driver of your body, and people's like, what do you mean? Okay, this is what I want you to do. When you have a moment, I want you to think of something, and you don't have to tell me. Just think of something that you definitely do not want to happen in your life. Let's say the loss of a person that you love. All you got to do is trick your body and just say to yourself, "Oh, this person passed." You could feel your body respond to something that you just made up. You could just make up, "Hey, my mom just passed. What would I do without her?" Feel your body respond to something that you just made up. You can feel it. You can feel your heart start pumping. You can feel all this energy, this type of energy go through your body. And then once you feel your body do that, just stop and say, "Okay, body, I just made that up," and it'll just stop. So imagine how many times you put your body through something that is completely made up. when you get on social media and you see some kind of crime in another part of the world that's horrific, somebody getting shot in the street or something like that, right? And you're like, oh my God, and then you can feel your body. If you didn't watch that, you wouldn't know that. We know that kind of stuff happens. It happens everywhere in the world. But you just happen to watching it somewhere in the world. That video could be 5 years old, and you're just now seeing it. That's the crazy part about social media. They can show you videos that are 2, 3, 4 years old, block out the date. You won't know what year or time the video, except by maybe the quality of the video, you can tell. I am very careful when I'm on social media now because it's easy to get caught up in there. Easy. Or the main one when I hear somebody say, well, even if you paid off your house, you still don't own it because of taxes. Those are debt slaves that have never paid off a house. That's why they're talking like that. If you break it all the way down to the things you cannot do anything about, which are taxes, you can't because this country is owned. No different than if you own a complex and somebody's renting from you out of your complex, they'll never own the complex. They're just there. They have to pay the rent. Or when you hear people compare rent versus mortgage, those are debt slaves comparing an expense to debt. They don't know that they're saying that. This is why when I'm on social media now, I don't really even interact with people that talk like that anymore. I used to go in there and comment, well, you're not really the owner. If you have a loan, they don't understand anything I'm saying. It's a total waste of energy. And if they don't know that they can't buy a house with a mortgage, they really are never going to know that taxes are a form of income. And the wealthy have been knowing that for years, centuries. The wealthy think in generations. Debt slaves think about the day because they're in survival mode their entire lives. When I watch his videos about what Andre sent to me, they think in generations, setting up the family. But that has to be taught. That has to be taught at a young age. If I knew this information that I know now, I would have most definitely put this information into my sons. They would have been growing up understanding this information. James says, margin is crazy. It's more like a business loan than anything else. Yep. It's backed by investments you already own. Yep. Yep. More brokerage requires 2 grand in your portfolio. Oh, most brokerages require 2 grand in your portfolio before they let you even take margin. Backed by your own money and charge you for the privilege. No different than equity. Debt slaves believe equity is money. Oh, I have equity in my house. I have a 10, 15,000 in my house of equity. No, you don't. You can't have equity in a mortgaged house. You can't say that to them because they don't know that. Oh, I'm investing. You have a mortgage? Yeah. No, you're not. You're not investing in anything. And since it's like a business loan, margin does not go on your credit report. I played around with it a little bit. Yep. Put it this way, when it comes to taxes, now I'm fascinated. I am fascinated with what I'm learning, what I'm discovering every day. When my business accountant told me, "Hey, you should switch over to a S corp, and then we're going to set you up with a reasonable salary, and this way you're not taxes at income tax and payroll taxes and all this." I don't really understand it. I just, it's going to save me money. Yeah, then do it. Then do it. It's going to save you thousands of dollars, LJ. That's what we're going to do then. I was trying to understand it all. I don't try to go, that's why I hire them. I only want the surface level, debt free. They know, they can tell by the way I do my business that I do business. I know I do business different than the majority. That's a fact. I just knew I'm like, I got to figure out this healthcare stuff because the S&B family is going to want to know how do you do that part so you can get over that fear of trying to start a business because you might have to start out with with no healthcare insurance. Excuse me. The first thing I suggest is if you're not healthy, I suggest you go before you quit your job, use your insurance, go get a checkup, see where you're at, see what you need to do, see what you need to do to change your health to a better health so you can be healthy during this particular time period that you might have to roll with no health insurance. Or you make enough money, you can find a local doctor that with a primary practice and say, hey, do you got a like a plan here that I can pay cash for? You want to do all that. It's way cheaper. It's not the Don't think of the prices that you see that come with having insurance because they're stacked with overhead. I had to learn this. What's up, October? As a person with a job with insurance at the job, I would have never known to even look or talk about what I'm telling you guys about. Because the first thing you think, what if something happens? I'm debt free, and then I'll be buried in $200,000, $300,000 worth of debt if I get sick. Well, you can take charge of your health right now, and the likelihood of that happening is less likely. You're not going to really take chances on doing certain things that might get you hurt. You're just not going to do it, especially when it comes to your health. If you're a person like the majority of people in the United States that love to eat, when you don't have any health care insurance, you will be more conscious about what you're eating and how much you're eating and what it is that you're eating. That will automatically happen, automatically, because you don't want to be buried in emergency room doctor debt. You don't want to do that. I have inherited high blood pressure. I just have it. There's nothing well, at least as far as I know, I can't really do anything about it right now. So I'm very cautious of what I eat. I can't I can't afford to have a stroke or a heart attack. That cannot happen. Listen, regardless of the money and the prices of the insurance, I don't want to have that period. Have a stroke or a heart attack because I can't stop eating bad food. That is not happening for me. No, I refuse. Did I do that when I had insurance? Nope. I was eating whatever I want, not ridiculously, but was I doing it? No, because subconsciously in my mind, oh, I got insurance. I don't have to worry about it. That has nothing to do with my health. Nothing at all. Nothing. All you got to do is look up some videos of stroke victims. Do you want to be in that situation? Do you want to have to relearn how to walk, rehabilitation? And then you have to have people around you. All you got to do is, and this is what you got to really look at, right? Look at the people around you. Like, think about it. If you had a stroke or a heart attack, what? Look at your immediate circle. Do you think you have some people around you that will be able to help you, support you? Would you really trust the people around you to they got to take care of your finances and get in your money, and do you trust all those people? You better think about it. I don't care if it's family or not. Listen, these are the things you got to think about. Regardless of the price of insurance, the hospital bills, do you want that to happen to you when you could have prevented that? That's not happening for me. Not happening. At least as far as I could do it. If I have anything to say about it, which I do, because it's me. I'm just at the tip of the iceberg with these taxes about earning income on taxes. I know it never stops. Each income, the more money you make, you're going to come into, I know I'm going to come into another tax, something to save money on taxes, doing it a certain way because I have the money to do so. I've never really let my body go. Just overweight and just not caring, but I wasn't completely doing the things I needed to do to make sure my blood pressure was correct. I might have looked good on the outside in shape, stomach, body, or whatever, but my blood pressure, I wasn't really doing the things I should have been doing many years ago. I'm like, oh, I feel all right. I'm not sure what the doctors are saying. That's the trick because one thing I learned too about the blood pressure, my mind, my mind got used to a certain for functioning. My brain, my human brain, it got used to functioning at a certain pressure, blood pressure. It just gets used to it. That's why they always call it, this is my version of it. That's why they call it the silent killer because my brain was adjusted of operating at my certain blood pressure. That's why I wasn't feeling anything. But in the meantime, it's it's messing it's the pressure will mess up your kidneys and your art or your organs because of all the pressure. The only reason why I figured that out because when I went to the doctor and got some proper blood medication, a high blood pressure medication, at first when I took it, I was getting kind of, dizzy or, kind of off balance a little bit. And I was like, hey, what's going on with this? Well, my brain had to readjust at the proper pressure now, which it wasn't used to. So it had to adjust to operating at the proper pressure. Because at first I was like, man, hey doc, man, this medicine is making me feel funny. But my blood pressure was dropping. But I was and this is just in the beginning. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? Come to find out, because my brain had to say, oh shit, things are changing. Okay, this is the new proper level. So at first, running in years at the high, my brain just got used to it. Doesn't mean it was good. It just got used to it. That's why they call it the silent killer, Dominique, because my brain was used to functioning at a high blood pressure level, which is bad, very bad. But the wonderful thing about the human body, it can repair itself. We just don't know it because we don't give it a chance to do it. Well, now I am. I don't eat like that. I monitor my blood pressure. I don't eat fried foods all the time, especially before I go to bed, and sweets and all this crazy nonsense. It's no different than escaping the debt matrix. We had to escape the way the debt slaves do money and finances and credit. We had to escape that in which we were taught. It's no different than food. We are trained to eat all this food. Uh, everybody's uh, everybody's a food critic going to all these new restaurants. And as soon as you open up the app, they're like, "Oh well, there's a new restaurant over here. There's a new tacos. These the new this and that. And have you tried this? No, I don't have to try all of. I don't have to eat everything I see. I don't. It's a choice. Everything I'm learning as I go along, it really ties back to what I learned out of the debt matrix. It really is the same. So now, when you go to parties and functions, say like I go to a gathering. Well, I'm older now, so it doesn't happen as much as. But I'm really a, s- so, I'm really to myself a lot. I really don't really hang around those kind of people anymore. But you go to a gathering, everything's about food, and then when you get there, hey, look what they got. Have you tried this? You got to be comfortable just saying no. You gonna try that? Nope. No. Well, why not? Oh no, I'm just taking care of my health. Just say it directly. Don't beat around the bush. If they keep crying, just say, "No, I'm just watching my health. I just don't do that." You have to be that way. I have no problem saying that now because when I see food reviews, does the food look good? Yeah, it looks good. But I don't know how much sodium and salt and everything that they're putting in this food to make it taste good. I have no idea, and I probably don't want to know because they're like, the the what because I asked ChatGPT, what is the recommended sodium amount a person should consume a day? Oh, between 1,500 milligrams and 2,500 milligrams. That's nothing. You will, I will top that going to taco time with a a large tater tot, Mexi fry, and a chicken soft taco and a Coke. That's well over that right there, right there. And that's just one meal. Nobody is eating one meal. They're having that. You got to remember, all people do different things. They eat different. Coffee, alcohol, drugs, no exercise, stress, relationship problems. All of that counts towards your body. All of it. One thing now I never forget, any plans that I have, any future plans, any business plans, any vacation plans, any relationship plans, I can't do anything without my body. All of those plans mean nothing. You understand me? If I have a stroke or a heart attack, all of the plans that I have in my brain are out the window because I can't do anything. I'm in the bed, hoping I have somebody to take care of me. Here's an even better way. This is so crazy. This is how they dog debt slaves. This is how debt slaves are so dogged. Okay, now a person could have a job for 10 years and they have health care. They have health insurance through their job. Okay, if this person gets sick and needs to be out of their and they're out of their job for a month or two. If they lose their job, guess what? They don't have anymore insurance. They don't have no more insurance. Ain't that fucked up? Fucked up. Now, now you have no insurance. Now you're going deep in debt because you have no insurance to cover because you have no money to pay for the premiums to keep the insurance going. Remember, debt slaves have no money. If they got sick, they have no money in the bank to keep the premiums going, to keep the premiums getting paid, to keep the insurance going. Once the premium stops, so does the insurance. All of it stops. Ain't that fucked up? And so people are going along, have their insurance, they think they're covered. All right, cool. If anything happens, yeah. If anything happens, as long as you have a job, at least if you're debt free and you have a job and you got a stack of money in the bank, you will have the money in the bank for the premiums. So if you're in the hospital for a few months and you happen, well, shit. Well, no, if you lose your job, no, I just thought about something. If you lose your job, the job pays part of the premiums. Oh my God, it just gets worse. You see what I'm saying? Because I remember when I first quit my job at Alaska, they sent me some kind of Cobra and say, hey, if you want to keep your current insurance, here's how much it would have cost. It was crazy, like $1,800 a month, something stupid. And I thought to myself, how am I gonna keep the insurance at those prices with no job? They know that you're not going to keep the insurance because you can't afford it. You can't. The majority of debt slaves will not be able to afford their insurance without their job paying part of the insurance premiums. They can't. Slaves, S&D family. When you go out there, when you kind of, because I know it happens every now and then, it kind of looks like, you know, debt slaves are living better than you because you're watching your money and they have all this. No, that's all an illusion. Don't fall for it. Don't get yourself caught up in it. That's all part of the illusion. They don't have anything. They can't save money on taxes like you. Like taxes, listen, taxes are a form of income. Think about it this way. I was a computer engineer making six figures, which considered me what's called middle class, whatever, right? Middle class. Well, those people, the majority of people making six figures are trapped in the tax bracket they are in. They can do nothing. Listen, they can do nothing to reduce themselves in their tax bracket because they have no money to do so. They don't know that. So they're paying all this money to business finance, business tax accountant people. Hey, do this to reduce the. What should I do to reduce my taxes and this and that? Half the people in business taxes, they don't even know that they're living. I guarantee you this. Probably the majority of tax professionals are in debt. If they're in debt, that means they don't know. Not not saying that they don't know how to do their job. I'm just saying they don't know. So but also don't get me wrong that in order to make money, there's twofold. It's no different than Dave Ramsey. I want you guys to try to grasp this. Dave Ramsey makes videos of people doing debt-free screens while having mortgages. Did you hear what I said? There are hundreds of videos out there on YouTube. Just type it in. Hey, debt-free screen with a mortgage. There's hundreds of videos. If he, you know why he does that? Because if he didn't, there would all those videos would not exist because they couldn't exist. He can't tell the people that are doing debt-free screens with mortgages, you're not really out of debt. He can't do that. You know why? Because that would go against his business plan. Imagine how many videos would be cut out of his catalog if he really told them the truth, the mathematical truth. Because I don't want you to think Dave's lying to him. It's called business. Because that's if people that sold houses said, "Hey, you can't really buy a house if you have a mortgage," nobody would make no money. So that it's just business. It doesn't make Dave bad or wrong or immoral or anything. No, it's called business. I guarantee you that, and he says it. Dave already says it. He owns his business outright, fully, no debt. He owns the buildings, and guarantee he's already personally debt free. Even back in the day when I first started listening to Dave Ramsey, I remember hearing Dave Ramsey say, "Hey, when they look up my credit score, I don't have one." Now, as a person coming from the debt matrix, I didn't really know what that meant, or I just said, "Oh, he's rich. That's why whatever." Right now, I understand what he means. What he meant. When I go try to look at my credit score, it says I'm unscorable. I'm unscorable, so I don't even have a credit score. I remember Dave saying I don't have a credit score. I'm like, what does that mean? Unscorable when I log into my credit. So what I do is they're all frozen. I don't need them. They don't need to be open or anything. Less likelihood of fraud because it's frozen. You think debt slaves ever freeze their credit? Absolutely not. I didn't know what unscorable meant, but imagine the money that Dave Ramsey saves on taxes. And when he talks about, hey, I give my 10% to the church, you better believe that's a write off for him. Believe that. Everything is about tax savings because the wealthy understand that is more income. You can doing they're able to do things that the majority cannot because they're in debt. When I see like here, I think it was here in Seattle, well, with the owner of Facebook, what's his name? His boat, he had his big ass yacht. I don't know if it was Amazon or Mark Zuckerberg's yacht. But when I see a yacht like that, you know what that says to me? I'm not jealous of his yacht. I don't think, oh wow, that could feed a whole bunch of homeless people and that's more than 3 to 5 houses or whatever. No, you know what that says to me? I I live in a different perspective than you. I know something that you don't, and I'm wealthy because of it. I get it, totally get it. When I see a yacht like that, I don't necessarily want a yacht like that. I don't know what the purpose of it is for you. I don't even know. But it's irrelevant. Not everybody wants that. just to have it is just like, okay, tell me, how did you acquire this? What's the purpose? How did he acquire it? What's the purpose of having something like that? He's not on it all the time. He probably use it maybe 2, 3 times a year. Maybe it's rented out. Who knows? Who knows? Put it this way: if s- I know for a fact, I was watching somebody that owns a private jet. There are debt slaves that rent the private jet to take pictures in it to fool people. Hey, look what I'm doing. I'm rich. This is my jet. Taking pictures in it and flying it around the airport. People assume that it's their private jet. This guy said, I make more money on my jet, not even flying, just sitting there where it's parked. People rent it out, take pictures in it, uh, do whatever they need to do to fool people to make them seem like they're rich. They do whatever it takes to fool debt slaves. That's what I would do if I had a private jet. I don't. Maybe I would use it every now and then, but I'm not going to pay for it to use it. I'm not going to pay to own it. I'm not going to pay to fly it. I'll rent it out for pictures and fake and fake stuff and people with stacks of money in it. Who cares? All of it is a business expense. Making wealth is about figuring out how to save money on taxes legally. Once you get to a certain level, and which I will be, I don't want to think about money at all. Never, ever. I'm tired of thinking about it. I don't want to think about it no more, and I'm not. I'm going to hire the people to figure out the things I need them to figure out. I don't need to know the details. I just need to know that you're a smart person and to figure out how to do it. I, my Again, I always said this. I want to create a tax firm for the S&D family with a whole bunch of S&D family members as part of that tax firm. So when S&D family members create their own businesses, they can go straight there. You don't have to explain shit to them. They know exactly what to do and how to do it, all legal. If you are a business tax professional, and if you listen to this video now on this live, you're catching it later, and you hear what I'm talking about, and you've never heard of what I'm saying, nobody, because there's no books, there's no videos. This is very few people, 0.1% people of the world know what this S&D knowledge. I could promise you that. If you never heard of it and you want to be the best tax business professional in the world, in the United States, wherever capitalism is, you can be. And I'll help you for free. I will help you for free. I will teach you something that's not taught anywhere, as far as I know. I'm not going to say anywhere because there's wealthy people here. So I'm not going to say anywhere, but very few. Because I enjoy taxes. I don't need to know about the details of everything. I need to know what I know. I only need to know enough to be dangerous. I only need to know enough to know that if you understand how it works or not. If you are a business tax person and you have an office and I walk into your office and I see your college degrees and where you went to school is for taxes, and then I turn to you and say, are you still paying your student loans for those degrees on your wall? If you tell me yes, I'm leaving your office. You understand that? I'm leaving. Why? Because you don't know. A tax person that went to school 20 years ago and still paying on their student loans, that means you don't know. You went to college for 4 years and you're paying on your student loans for 20. That means you don't know how taxes really work. You know what you've been taught, but you don't know what's not seen. I'm not paying attention to a word you're saying. I'll just go straight to a successful uh, practice business. They don't really have to, as long as they have a good reputation with the IRS and understand how it works and understand what I want, cool. But if you're an individual, And if you're smart, if you're a business tax person and you want to one day open your own practice, I can help you do that. You will kill it. Nobody, very few people will be able to compete with you. Very few. I want to be able to just come up to you and say, "Hey, this is my stuff. This is what I'm doing with my business." S&D family members, I refer to all the S&D family members to go to you because they'll know that you know the S&D knowledge. You have it. It's about taxes. Taxes are a form of income because we can do things that people in debt cannot, which makes it a form of income. But if you never heard this, I must warn you first. Your mind will have to be strong once you know, because once you know, listen closely, just like a movie, just like The Matrix, once you know, there is no going back. You will see everybody, you will see all the people that are faking, you will see the people that are not really rich and have money by the way they talk, because it's a language, it's a perspective. Here's a better way to put it. Capitalism is an illusion because everyone's perspective of it is different. Once First you have to escape the debt matrix perspective, which is one single perspective, one single out of an unlimited amount of perspectives. If you were born in the First of all, if you were born in the debt matrix perspective, the exit door is zero. To escape the debt matrix perspective, the exit door is zero. Once you leave the debt matrix, then and only then will you realize that you were living in one single perspective of capitalism, one single perspective, one. There is no other way to know you are in a perspective, because especially if you were born in that perspective, you don't know that you're in this perspective because millions of people are in that perspective. Once you escape, then and only then you will realize that you were only in one single perspective of an unlimited amount of perspectives. What perspective is SMD? I don't know, but it's way far away from that one. You know how hard it is you to be born in a perspective. You don't even know you're in one. You can't even know that you're in one until you escape something. So you have to escape something that you don't even know you're in. How do you tell your mind that? How do you tell your brain that? Hey, how do I escape something I don't know? You don't even know to ask your brain that question. But once you escape and then you see things for what they are, you might start to get nervous. You might start to get scared because you'll start thinking about, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong for so many years. If I only knew this at 20, if I only knew this at 30, I would have did this. I wouldn't have met that person. I wouldn't have kids. You're going to go through all that bullshit, all of it. You're going to go through all that. Get over that. It's, and just be happy that you escaped it. Understand that you're never going back. It don't even listen. It don't even matter if you accidentally got in debt for some unforeseen reasons of something, whatever. You're not going to stay there. It doesn't matter. You're going to figure out a way how to get out of there. And I'm telling you, S&D family, to fully escape, you must create a business. You must create a business to escape. I don't care what it is. You got to figure it out. If you want to fully escape and understand more and more on how how taxes are going to make you create more and more income from you for you, you have to escape. Figure it out. Take charge of your health. Don't let not having health care insurance stop you because you're going to regret it. Take charge of your health. If you're that worried about it, take charge of your health. I do this so I can so I can share this with you guys. I do it first. I'm not just talking shit. I do it first. Make Hopefully my path and my journey will make it easier for you guys. Because once you get out, right? Think about this too. Once you get out, because I got a couple of S&D family members that I talk to on a daily basis. You know why? Because there's no hardly nobody else to talk to once you escape. Because it changes your entire life. Everything changes. Your friends, family. You just don't tolerate things anymore. You don't care if they know or not. It doesn't matter because there's nobody that understands the language of SMD, the SMD perspective. That's why I always say the SMD perspective because everything is a perspective. Oh, taxes are high. Who's saying that? This is expensive. Who's saying that? Gas prices are high. Who's saying that? Oh, this is a new iPhone. How'd you get it? Oh, it's only $40 a month. If you're listening to this and you're making payments on your iPhone, I'm talking to you. Only debt slaves finance phones. Do you understand? It doesn't matter if your new iPhone is orange with 15 cameras and it can do this. If you're making monthly payments on your phone, I'm talking to you. You're in the debt matrix. If you're in a crowd of people and all of you guys, say like you have a crowd of friends and each of you guys have a new iPhone and you guys are all making payments, that's why you guys are all friends because you guys are financing phones. Only debt slaves do that. Only debt slaves think that's normal. That tells me you have no, if you have a finance phone in your hand, that tells me how much money you have in your bank account. No money because you would have bought it in cash. Or when you hear somebody say, "Hey, don't use all your money. Use the bank's money. Keep your money in your." Those are debt slaves talking to you. They're saying that because they know you have no money in your bank account, just like them. People with mortgages, social media. Hey, look at my new house. This one, no, you didn't. They didn't get anything. They didn't buy nothing. It only takes a day to buy a house. Imagine how long it took to convince debt slaves it takes 30 years to buy a house. 30 years. Oh, I've been on my job for 2 years. It qualifies for a loan. Uh, When you sign up for a loan, you're promising the bank for the next 30 years you're going to make this particular payment they know the likelihood of you doing that is dependent on your job. The likelihood of you being at the same job for the next 30 years is highly unlikely. Plus the things in between. What if you're married and you get a divorce or you get a breakup? Something happens. You know how many things can happen in your financial life within 30 years? It only makes sense to debt slaves. And then they add who knows what they put in that mortgage paperwork, all these fees and tricks and this and that. And then I was watching a video the other day on TikTok. This guy was talking about, hey, yeah, I own these houses, and guess what? The bank reached out to me and offered see if I wanted to refinance my house and refinance of my house or properties or something he was saying at a better rate, and I can pull out the equity. You know why the banks are doing that? Because they probably know he's in financial trouble. That's why they're reaching out to him. The bank knows everybody's financial situation, especially the people with mortgages. If you start falling behind, say like there's some equity in the house, but remember, equity is not money, and you start falling behind on some car payments, or you falling behind on some credit cards, or you're making minimum payments, they already know that you're in financial trouble. So next thing you know, the bank reaches out, hey, look, we're offering a special finance rate. If you refinance the house, you can pull out $30,000 of equity and pay off your cars and pay off the credit cards. You know what they're really saying? We're trying to get those items off of our books, the worthless car, the credit cards. Number one, if you're going to take them, You're going to borrow the equity from the bank you got the car loan in. Your bank and house is probably the same thing, right? You're going to borrow the money from the house, which they know you can't take with you, but they know you can take the car and hide it or put it somewhere, put it at your family's house in the garage. They don't really give a shit. You're going to borrow the money from them, get that worthless car off their books with the using the same money that you borrowed from them, using the exact same money. And then you're going to take some money and pay off the credit cards, right? They know you're not going to turn off the credit cards. They know you're not going to cut them up. You're going to walk away thinking you paid off your credit cards, which you didn't. They know you're going to use them again. Next thing you know, they probably drop your limit. As soon as you pay them off, as soon as you pay off the credit card, they probably drop your limit because they know you're gonna default on them pretty soon by your financial habits. Let me tell you something, SMD family. Isn't it? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing how it works. If I go to a bank and need a loan for a business loan, first of all, that's the only reason why I would go to a bank. It would be for a business loan. Uh, Sometimes put it this way: if I, of course, as a debt slave, I would have never thought of this. Okay, but back in the day, I remember I got a mortgage for a townhome, right? And I had about $30,000 in student loan debt. Well, student loan debt, you cannot bankrupt student loan debt. Okay, you just can't, right? But if I had the knowledge I had today, because they gave me this loan and I have no money. I was just a classic debt slave, right? And then as soon as I got the loan, with about a year, they said, "Hey, you got some equity in your house. It's about 50,000 or 40,000, some number." If I knew what I knew today, I would have took that equity and paid off my student loan debt with it. That's what I would have did. I would have paid off my student loan debt with it. So at that point, when I lost my house, and which I did, when I lost my house, guess what? Student loan debt's gone too. File bankruptcy. That's it. Chapter 7, I'm out. Student loan debt gone because it's no longer. It would be no once I paid it off. It's no longer under that protection from bankruptcy. It's a regular. It would be a regular. It's a regular thing, right? So if I happen to lose my job, which I did, because I forgot what happened. Oh, 2000. It was during 2008 when the housing crisis happened. I lost the place. Guess what? I lose everything, including the student loan debt, house and everything, all of that. But I'm out. But of course, as a debt slave, I'm not thinking pulling the equity and pay off debt. I'm thinking about pulling the equity and buy shit. You don't have to cheat the system. You don't have to lie on your taxes. You don't have to do none of that. You just have to understand how it works. Because I was like everybody else, man. If I knew this back in my 20s, in my 30s, and I went through all that phase, but I'm just happy that I know this information now, especially when it comes to taxes. When it comes to taxes, man, I'm just so fascinated. I just be mind blown. But first, I had to figure it out first. I didn't know doctors. You can go straight to a doctor with a primary care practice and go directly to them and set up some kind of monthly plan that you can come and see them right directly from them at a much cheaper price, paying cash. I did not know that. Why I didn't know that? Because I had a job and insurance, and this was my insurance plan, and every in network, I can only see these doctors according to the plan. You can't go here, you can't go there. Is it in network, out of net? See all that confusion? They do that shit on purpose because you have no choice when you're wrapped up in that system. You have no choice. When I watched this video that Andre sent me, the wealthy people have concierge service. They pay these doctors directly. They get seen right away. The doctors will come to their house, or they can make appointments right. They don't have to wait. Oh, I have an appointment 2 weeks from now. Say like you need to see a doctor. Okay, what's the appointment? Oh, doctor, he's out for 2 weeks. The wealthy don't do that. They get next day service. They get seen right away. Because if you have a problem with your health or something, you can you wait 2 weeks? You have to work those next 2 weeks sick or with your medical problem until the doctor can see you. And hopefully, and then when you get there, hey, you gotta your say like your appointment's at 2 o'clock. This type of shit pisses me off. You have a 2 o'clock appointment at the doctor, you get there, you're still waiting 15, 20 minutes to see the doctor. What? And they tell you, hey, we're going to charge you if you show up late or you don't show up. But if you show up on time and they get to you late, nothing happens. No, thank you. No, no, no. This right here, this gives me a take without being wealthy, going straight to a doctor, a primary care doctor, and paying their fee. No different than the dentist. You could start out small. Go to your dentist, practice. Take care of your teeth. That's number one. Take care of your teeth. I promise you, take care of your teeth. But go to a dentist office and walk in there and say, hey, do you have any plans directly here that I could pay you directly and for your services? 9 out of 10, most of them have it. They don't want to deal with insurance companies. They have to because the majority have insurance. But if they can get around dealing with insurance companies and deal with you directly, you'll get a significant discount paying cash. And then if you pay with your HSA, that's even, listen, first you get the discount for paying them out of your pocket, and then you use your HSA card, which is tax free. That's money saved. Do you understand me? Saved. There's no referrals and waiting for this and that. You get direct access, period. It's beautiful, man. When they say, oh, yeah, we knock off 30, 40%, 30 or 40% off the bill just because I'm paying cash. Damn, so that's how much overhead insurance companies. Yep. And you know why insurance companies can do that? Because you don't care. If you just pull out your insurance card and your insurance is taken, and most insurance don't even, you still got co-pays and shit. Oh man, deductibles. The shit makes no sense. They do debt slaves so dirty, so dirty. You pay insurance premiums and then you got deductibles. Debt slaves ain't got no money for the deductibles. So you know what they'll do? They'll skip it. They'll skip doctor's appointment, skip dentist appointment. Oh, I ain't got the copay. I ain't got the deductible. So they'll skip it. But still, listen, but still paying insurance premiums monthly. What's up, Wayman? Still paying monthly insurance premiums. And if think about it this way, if the insurance is covering whatever you go into to get a procedure, either doctor or dentist, do you care what the price is? Say like there's a some kind of something that you need and it's $2,000 and your insurance company is paying for it. Do you care if it's $2,000 if your insurance? No, that's why they can charge whatever they want to charge because you don't care. But you're paying for it. Believe that. You're paying for it. You are paying for it with your monthly premiums to the doctor visit you can never go to because you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, all week, not 40, 50, 60 hours a week, OT time. You don't even have time to go to the doctor, but you're paying them premiums. I get it though. I get it. It's business, baby. It's business. That's why when I had no insurance, I had to take charge of my health because I had no choice. I had to do it. 6 mile walks, gym, walking. I don't care what the weather is. I have to do it because the healthcare system is based on people not taking care of their health. Look at it doesn't even matter what city you're in. They got restaurants stacked on top of each other everywhere, and the majority are definitely not owned by black people. Definitely not. Even foreigners from other countries, they know, come to the USA and start your own business. Start your own business. Because not only do you make more money, you get tax benefits for having your own business. And once, this is what I realize, especially now that I'm out, once you own, not necessarily that you say you have to own a house or an apartment or whatever, right? Or a condo, but once you own your own house or place of where you live, you have eliminated where you live is your largest monthly expense that you will have, okay? Where you live. If you eliminate that, you have just eliminated the largest monthly expense that most people will have their entire lives. You have eliminated that. Eliminated. All you're doing is paying yearly taxes. Do you know how fast your money will stack? You don't have to worry about the prices of houses. All you have to do is look for tax liens, tax default, foreclosures, and you have the money to buy it. You don't have to worry about the prices of homes. Oh, you know the prices of homes are going up every year. Only for you talking. Only, they're talking about people who need to finance houses. That's what they're talking about. Hey, Omanike, that same here. I got a dentist here. I need to go get my teeth cleaned anyway. But I have a dentist here, excellent dentist. He got a plan that I got to set up that plan with him. I've been focused on the healthcare part, but he's got, X amount of dollars, 3 or 4 cleanings a year or whatever. No insurance, direct pay. It's way cheaper than insurance. Because if like most dentist plans, I mean, for me, when I had a job and I had dental coverage, most of it didn't really even cover nothing, at least major stuff. Just I can. Oh, it covers teeth cleaning. Well, I could do that myself. Yes, exactly. But if you don't know that, you're making premium. Listen, making premium payments with dental payments on there, and you're barely even using it because you can't. You don't got time. You got things going on in your life. Then you got to take time. Listen, you got to take time off. You're deep in debt. You got to take time off of work to go to these appointments. Maybe you get paid for taking the time off. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have to use PTO or whatever. Now you got to use, listen, now you got to use part of your vacation time to go to a doctor's appointment. So that's a day you can't really take the time to yourself to relax. You can't even do it. Even if you have a week vacation, 2 weeks vacation, how many debt slaves are taking 2 weeks vacation? Not many. They're breaking it up in days, a day here, extra Monday, 3-day weekend. I used to do all that. That's what I used to do. Once you realize 3 days, weekends ain't nothing, that's nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't know that until I escaped. I had to escape first. I had to first escape the debt matrix. After I escaped, then and only then, I knew what a vacation felt like. Minimum. Vacation for me is a minimum of 2 weeks because the first week, all I did was sleep. Because if I work a whole year straight, 40 plus hours a week, the first week I did was just sleep because a vacation is not really a vacation. You got to plan, then you got to travel, then you got to get here, get to the hotel. All of that is work. That's not relaxation, that's work. I first quit my job. I told the S&D family, know this. When I first quit my job back in 2016, I swear I slept for like 2 months straight, 2.5 months straight. I didn't do anything. I didn't go anywhere. I just slept. I woke up, ate, went right back to sleep. I just slept, slept, slept until one day it just stopped. It was my brain thanking me because this is what we forget. We forget about our brain. The only way For the brain to repair itself, we have to be asleep. We can't use it. In order for the brain to rest, we can't use it. The only time, and it counts on what kind of sleep are you getting? Are you getting stress sleep? When I was in South Carolina, people, and the family knows this, that relationship I was in there, that was the most stressful relationship I had ever been in my life. You understand me? My sleep was horrible. I was stressed all the time. It was horrible. I was not getting good sleep at all. SMD back then, SMD was my only escape, my few hours of escape from that relationship. That's why, excuse me, that's why people would be like, dang, LJ, you be on for 2, 3 hours of SMD. I didn't tell you guys that, but that was my escape. I wasn't letting you guys know that. That was the only time she would not bother me till I escaped. It kept me focused. You guys helped me stay SMD channel people. You guys helped me stay focused because if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. But I definitely was not getting good sleep. My brain was just overtaxed. Everything. And you're right, October. A vacation isn't a vacation until you're debt free. Most people go on vacation and still be doing work. Bring the la- bring their laptop, checking work email, worried about how much work they're going to have when they get back. What kind of vacation is that? It's not. But once you escape the debt matrix, you won't even allow that. That's not allowed. I don't allow negative people in my life. I have absolutely no negativity in my life at all, no stress, nothing. I don't have any of that in my life, none of it. I only have positive people in my life. I have positive S&D family members that I still speak to on the phone because not only am I helping them, they're helping me. Because when you have this knowledge, there's not many people you can talk to that will understand because you're looking for like when you have S&D questions, you're looking for a certain type of feedback that you cannot get anywhere else. You can't. People will respond with these debt matrix answers and you're like, "Oh fuck, you guys don't know what I'm talking about." Nope. Like I told you guys, I wrote it out in the post. I remember when I was a debt slave and I went on vacation to Mexico for about a week and a half. And I was over there and I met because Europeans they go on vacation more than us, right? You could tell by the World Cup. They they come from listen, these Europeans come from other countries, come to the USA for the World Cup and stay for weeks. I remember I went to Mexico, met a European couple on the beach. They were like, "Hey, where you from?" "I'm from the U.S." "Where you from?" "Oh, Europe." Blah blah blah. They were like, "How long you here?" I said, "Oh, about a week." They look This look on their face when I told them a week. I didn't understand the look back then. I didn't understand the look. They were like, the look on their face was like, "Damn, you traveled all the way from the United States to stay here for a week?" Then I was like, "Hey, how long are you guys here?" These are natural questions. "Oh, we're here for about a month, and then we're going somewhere else." I was like, "A month?" But in my mind, I thought, "Oh, you must be rich." No, they're not rich. Capitalism, capitalism exists in the UK and Europe. Capitalism's everywhere. They just understand that vacation time, they call it holiday, is important. Their jobs structure that because they know it's all key. They come over here. All you gotta do is watch videos. They're coming over here for the World Cup with their families, not just your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and your wife. They're bringing their entire families, and they're staying for weeks, going to the World Cup, which is not cheap. Have you seen the ticket prices of the World Cup? That's not cheap. That's why the NFL, they could never go worldwide like soccer. They couldn't because the Americans cannot travel like Europeans. They can't. They don't have the money to do that. they're in debt. They're slaves. Hold on for a second. I gotta plug in my headphones. 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Good. I had to plug up my headsets. The U.S., the United States, raised debt slaves. We are the best at it. Debt slaves don't know that they're slaves. They don't even know. People from other countries, imagine what people from other countries when they come that don't have credit system and they come here to the United States and figure out that the majority of people that they've been seeing on TV, this lavish lifestyle that seem to have here in the United States, they own nothing. And all you have to do is come here, create a successful business and stay out of debt and you'll be rich. Not even in a long time, just in a few years. A few years you can be wealthy. They can come here, make their money, choose to stay or just leave. Wait a minute, so I just booked a getaway from Myrtle Beach in September. First time going, being from Buffalo. I'm imagining enjoying drifting off at the coastal beach, getting away from dense and tense life. Oh man, let me tell you something, Wayman. Let me tell you something, man. I absolutely loved living in Myrtle Beach. I ain't gonna lie. Besides the relationship, living in a vacation city, especially like that, oh man, it was just I'm definitely gonna go back and visit it and stay there for about a month. I'm definitely gonna do that. But I miss it was so nice to be able if I had a stressful day, I could just get in my truck, drive down the street to the beach, and just sit on the beach. It would be I could sometimes because in the wintertime it would be off and on with the weather. Sometimes I could go down to the beach in December because sometimes it would turn out to be 75, 80 randomly. It was so beautiful in December. Now, don't get me wrong, that whole experience there was part of my journey because I learned a lot. Uh, I definitely would have not had the business I have today if I didn't go there because of that situation. But to live in a vacation city in the summertime, there were always events happening. There was always something to do. There was always nice places to eat. It it was just a beautiful experience. Beautiful. How long you staying down there? How long you staying over there? Because in Washington, it's beautiful here. We don't have humidity and stuff like that, but the energy that I felt there in Myrtle Beach, I never wore regular shoes. I always wore flip flops. Always wore. I never wore regular shoes at Myrtle Beach. I remember the girl I was with. She was like, "How come you don't never wear shoes?" Because I don't want to. What I realized too is that I remember when I was younger, my mom used to always make me take care of my feet and my teeth. And so I always wear still to the day, I wear open toe flip flops. Well, I didn't realize that, men like to see a women's feet look good. Well, if women take care of their feet, they're obviously going to look at a man's feet too and see how they look. Well, I always have had nice feet, but I didn't really think about it twice because my mom always pounded it in my head, take care of my feet, and that's what I did. And I remember the woman I was with, she was like, "Yeah, not many men do have nice feet," and I didn't realize that until she told me. Yeah, I told her you're right, man, because you're right because the questions
what I was saying earlier, question, this is why I have SMD. This is why SMD is here. This is why SMD family members still call me or text me. I don't mind that. I don't mind what take, because I understand that sometimes you need answers. Shit, I be needing answers. All of us are going to learn something different because we're all different parts of the of life. See what I'm saying? Now, see, Omanike, as a man, we're not thinking that women love to love to see pretty feet. We don't even think about that. Don't even think about it. I always wondered why my mom pounded in my head, Linnell, take care ever since I was a kid. Take care of your teeth and your feet, Linnell. Take care. I was like, dang, mom, why are you on me about my damn feet? Oh, now I get it. I got it. Got it. So I purposely wear, well, I just like to wear open toe flip flops. Also been debt free for several years now, LJ, and there's nothing like being able to be your own bank. Yep, people undermine mastering the art of being a saver. Cash on hand is one. That's beautiful, but they don't hear you, Wayman. They can't hear you. They cannot hear you because they're trapped in a single perspective of capitalism, which is the debt matrix. Now imagine this, Wayman. They don't know they're in one single perspective of capitalism where there's an unlimited amount of perspectives. First, I had to escape. First, I had to escape what I didn't know I was in. You guys know my story. You guys know my story. I came home from work one day back in my early 40s, going to the gym, pulled in my car. I was in my car by myself, pulling up to LA Fitness at night, daylight savings time in Washington, about 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, it's getting dark. I said, is this going to be my life for the rest of my life? I said, I don't accept that. I didn't know what I was saying when I said it. I didn't know what it meant, but that was just the beginning of my escape from the perspective in which I was born. I did not know I was in a single perspective of capitalism to have to escape. I'm thinking, oh, I got to be rich to no having money. These people get, if you can give a debt slave $1 million, they still would be back in debt within a couple of years because they haven't escaped. The amount of money you give a debt slave is irrelevant without the knowledge. Yes, she did, Omanike. I do thank her for that too. I didn't understand it when I was younger. Didn't understand it. But now I understand it at 56 because a lot of men my age, they don't got their teeth. They can't smile big unless they can have, because if you try to go get your teeth replaced, that costs, you might as well buy a car. To get implants in your mouth, that's the price of a car. That is expensive. That's why you see dental places all over the place, financing teeth. I take care of my teeth, but I got to work on my feet. I got to admit, and that's okay. October. Listen, it's okay. You just work on your feet. Take care of them. Because a woman had to point that out. The woman I was with had to point that out. Like she was like, Linnell, you know, men, a lot of men can't wear open toe sandals like you do. I was like, well, what do you mean? Why not? Just put them on because their feet don't look like yours. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, men don't take care of the feet like you do. I was like, huh. Never thought about it. Never thought about it. I take care of mine. Take care of them. No discolored nails, no black, nothing, no bunions or whatever stuff. I just don't do any of none of that happens. If I see something, because everybody walks different on their feet. So you might have to scrape a side or something because of the way you walk. But that's what I do. I get in the tub, take my shower, sit on the side of the tub, take care of my feet. I don't have to do it every day. I just do it once a week. Take care of my nails on my feet, everything. I'll be there for a week, just enough to unplug and get away. Got an oceanfront room. Nice, nice. And plan to do a marsh tour and hit up Murrells Inlet. Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. And the botanical garden down there, for sure. I know all that. All that. You're making me miss it, man. You're making me miss it, Wayman. Oh man, that was a daily, listen, that was a daily thing for me. Daily. And there was this particular restaurant, I used to always go to for like it was open during breakfast time and brunch. I forgot the name of it. God dog it. Mm. I knew the owner really well, but him and I talked all the time because he could just feel my energy when I would come into his restaurant. He just knew that that I was different than most. You could just feel it, right? Oh, it was beautiful, man. Beautiful place, man. I take care of myself, always being a hygienic man. I'm the same way. It's critical. I got a manicure and pedicure a few weeks ago, and the ladies looked at me like I was a government official visiting their country because you know what? I haven't gone to. I've always taken care of my feet, so I don't really go to an Asian like one of those Asian foot massage places. But I plan on doing it just to see how they react when I pull out my feet because they're gonna know right away that okay, he doesn't have a regular job. Something's going on with him. He's somebody because of the way my feet will look. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. But that's important. Take care of yourself. Take care. I don't. You know, it's like this, Wayman. Women take care of their nails and their feet. So I automatically now I do, not automatically. So why not automatically understand that that's what they're looking for when they look at a man? They got to be looking for that too. What do your feet look like? What do your hands look like? I think it says something to me. To me, it says something. And I'm only able to do most of it because I escaped the debt matrix. Not only no more debt, I take care of my health. Excuse me. I take care of my health. I take care of no negativity in my life. I don't have any stress. I love learning about taxes, the debt, the S&D way. I thank God every day that I escaped the debt matrix, something I didn't even know I was born in. I thank God every day that I understand that there are an unlimited amount of perspectives. I'm not out here jealous of anybody that might have a nicer car or a house, or because I don't know how they obtain it. I don't know what maybe they're happy, maybe they're not, maybe they, like here in Seattle, there's a city called Tacoma, right? And I'm not too far from Tacoma. And along the waterfront, up on the hill, there are a bunch of beautiful homes up on the hill that are up on top of the hill. They overlook the Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington, right? When I look at those houses, I don't look at them like I'm jealous that those people have those houses because, first of all, I don't know how they obtained them. I don't know, right? Number two, maybe that's generational money. Maybe their family has known how money works and they've known capitalism is an unlimited amount of perspectives and they know something that I don't. I don't like think about it like, oh man, it's too late. I'm 56. I should have known. Nope, I don't think nothing like that. I'm happy that I know what I know. Uh, Not even necessarily saying that I want a home up there that's on top of the hill and this and that. None of that. I'm not jealous of any of that. Maybe they had a head start. Maybe this knowledge runs through their family, and they do generational planning, and not like debt slaves that do day to day planning. They think in hundreds of years, and debt slaves think about the weekend. What's happening Friday and Saturday? Because they can't really enjoy Sunday because they might enjoy Sunday in the morning, but by the time the afternoon comes, guess what their mind is going? For work on Monday. This is a program, a survival program. Complaining about money and taxes. Inside the debt matrix, we were trained to always think about money, nonstop money, 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 money. I am in the process, haven't fully done it yet. I don't want to, I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to ever, I just don't want to think about money ever. I don't. Because it takes a lot of energy and I'm tired of it. So I refuse to think about money all the time. Refuse. And that's something I have to work on. I have to work on that. Have to work on that. The survival mindset is programmed inside the debt matrix. It's programmed in there. All right, we're going on 2 hours, about 5 minutes short of 2 hours. I'm gonna give you guys a link if you want to holler at me for a minute. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Man, have fun in Myrtle Beach there, Wayman, man. Oh, man. I'm not jealous of many things, but I'm jealous of that. I probably, you know what I probably do? It might be maybe in a year or two, I'm going to go back down there and I'm going to stay a month and see how much has changed. And because there was a lot of development going on there when I was living there. They were building a lot. And to learn the things I've learned, even in the relationship, there couldn't have been a better place to experience my knowledge, especially because SMD was born in no, SMD was before Myrtle Beach, but shortly before. But it couldn't have been a better place for me to learn there. It was so beautiful. The people. They used to, like, when I first got there, they used to think I was like the singer. What's his name? The black country singer. They always said I looked like him. And I remember when I first got down there, right? People used to always be staring at me. Like they knew I was there from out of town or something. I'm like, why is everybody staring at me everywhere I go? Well, I look like this country singer. God, what is his name? If you guys can remember who his name is. He's a black country singer, and he lives in South Carolina. Darius Rucker. Yes. Thank you, Omanike. Thank you. They said I look like Darius Rucker. Finally, I remember being in Costco, and I remember this older lady, and this is back when we was wearing masks, okay? Back when we was wearing masks. And I remember this older lady, she had to have been in her 60s, 70s, maybe. I'm not going to say, no, she was older than 60s, right? Maybe in her 70s, right? And she stopped me. She said, are you Darius Rucker? I was like, no. I said, who's that? Because I didn't know who Darius Rucker was at the time, right? But she didn't believe me. And she said, pull down your mask. And she actually grabbed my mask and pulled it down to make sure I wasn't lying to her because she thought I was lying. And so I looked him up. And I was like, okay, I do favor Darius Rucker. I do. I didn't realize I did, but that explained why so many people used to stare at me down in South Carolina, because they must have thought I was him. But I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. That's a good thing. I don't get, he was not a bad looking dude, so I was cool with it. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. 2 hours. I'm talked out. Voice getting dry and everything. Plus, it's time for me to go do my walk. I gotta check the temperature first because I'm gonna be going at high noon. Make sure what's the temperature gonna be today. We're gonna have a high of 74. That's perfect. And about 80s for the rest of the week. But enjoy yourself, Wayman. Let me know how it went. Next time you go, if you ever go again, you probably want to stay a minimum of 2 weeks next time. I promise you, because this is summertime, so there's going to be a lot of events going on there. Enjoy the botanical gardens, man. That's a beautiful place. Beautiful, very beautiful place. I've been there a couple times. That's a big thing down there. Is that I didn't know it was until I got there. I was like, a botanical garden? What's the big deal about seeing a flower? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Appreciate it, October. This channel's for the SMD family, for sure. This is for you guys. I do this for you guys now. It's 90 in Tampa. Wow, okay. Say, Trace, great info, LJ. I'm 59, and the biggest mistake I made was believing getting out of debt was only half the solution, but I've learned the other half, what to do when I become it's all, you know what? Don't feel bad about anything. I'm 56. Just be happy. Focus on the knowledge that you know now, that you've escaped, to actually experience life outside the debt matrix. Uh, just focus on the positive, for real. Appreciate it. Oh, James, what's up, James? James says, great stream today. I had to step away for a while, and we'll catch up. Cool. I'm moving to Seattle. Oh, James is moving all over the place, man. You're moving to Seattle. Okay. Yeah, we got to hook up again, man. We got to hook up again. Go out for lunch or something. We got to do that. Yes, Omanike, for sure. Happy. Man, it's beautiful. You know what, Tracy? Like I said before, part of waking up with the SMD knowledge, everybody says that, Tracy. Even James says that. James in his 30s. Oh man, if I do this earlier, people just imagine somebody. I remember I had somebody in their 20s, late 20s, right? SMD family member. Man, if I knew this when I was 20, everybody says that. No matter a person's age, every person says that. If I would have known this, hey, listen, if I would have known I have what I know now, I definitely wouldn't have had kids in my 20s. I would have been debt free. I wouldn't have dated the women I dated. You can think of all the negative things that you wouldn't have done. Because why? Because you know now. You're forgetting the key thing. The knowledge that you have today, you didn't have then. That's why you did it. Just like there's something right now that you don't know. You're probably doing something right now that you 5, 6 years, 10 years from now, you would like, oh, I wouldn't have did that at 59. You know, you just it never ends. So just work on it. It's not easy. It just happens. You know, it just is. Just be happy that you know, you have the knowledge. We all say it. Every single S&D family member says the same thing. If I only had known, if I'd known this when my kids were little, they would have grew up with SMD knowledge right out the gate. So when they went out into the world, they would have knew exactly what to do, who to mess with, who not, what relationships to get into, what not relationships, who to detect, if they're on and on and on. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. If you catch the stream later, leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, you can email me at SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com, SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. I'll put in the details of this video, and I will also place the link that I got from Andre about wealthy people and health insurance and stuff like that. You know, when you listen to it, you got to try not to, and the reason why I'm saying this, because it's easy to happen. I was listening to a video and you think, oh, damn, it's too late. I didn't stock up enough money to do that or whatever. You just got to ignore that. And just remember, it's never too late. If you create a business, you could be making millions within a year. It's never too late. You just know that you escape. You're not going to do it with a job. Okay. You're just not going to do it with a job. Just not going to happen. But you can do it with your own business. There's no limit to income. Your income is uncapped. Now I'm investing, but waited too long to do it because I thought I was okay because I was debt free. Again, you just got to figure out a business. Invest in yourself. Take that money, invest in yourself. What can you come up with? Figure out something, you know. Try not to think it. Don't think it's going to be the investment that is going to give you the investment in yourself is going to make more than any money than you invest into some kind of stock or whatever, right? Investing in yourself is going to make the fastest money. You just got to figure it out. I'm not saying that part is easy. I only know because of what I learned when I lived in South Carolina. That's the only reason why I know I have the business I have, right? With SMD is not my main business because not many people understand how this works. So it's very few people that come to me because they don't know to come to me. And they don't know what they're coming to me for because they don't know SMD is a perspective of capitalism and they live in a perspective that they don't know they're in. So good luck with that. But one day, I do know one day SMD will be my main source of income because it'll be all over the world. I don't know how it's going to form. I don't know, but I know for a fact is that because SMD, very few people. This is knowledge that billions. Now I want SMD family to understand. Billions of people do not have this knowledge or understand it. Billions with a B. That's how I know one day it'll be profitable. That's how I know. You're very welcome, Tracy. Very welcome. You guys have a wonderful evening. Afternoon, excuse me. It counts on where you're at. I know if your East Coast is 6 o'clock, your West Coast is 3 o'clock. But you guys have a wonderful day. What'd you say, LJ? The feds require business to file taxes if they have a net profit of 400, but a W-2 earner doesn't have to if they earn less than 16,000. They know the potential of business owners. Well, yeah, it counts on like for example, with now my business is taxed as an S corp. Okay, so there are more tax benefits taxed as an S corp, but the IRS requires me to pay quarterly taxes. So you can't wait till the end of the year to pay these taxes. I got to pay them quarterly, right? So to me, like when I switched to, put it this way, when I switched to S corp, and then the IRS requires me to pay quarterly taxes, you know what that tells me? The IRS is telling me I understand how it works, so we want our money now. Because you obviously, if you're switching to this, and and the reason how you're setting it up and doing it, this is what I believe they're saying to me. You understand how it works, LJ. So we want our money now. We don't want to wait till the end of the year because we know that you understand because of what you're doing. I get it, totally get it. Okay, here you can have your money. I don't care. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's the when a person says, "Oh, I'm a business owner," you don't know what type of business. Are they a business owner that's paying quarterly taxes, or are they even paying taxes at all? You don't know. We don't know. But it's just the way it is. It's cool though, because if you run your business right and you do it as a debt-free person, you will always have the money for those taxes. It's not a big deal. As a matter of fact, I just had to pay them. Just recently, last month. Sure did. Had to pay them their money. Here you go. All right. See you in 3 months. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'm out of here. Catch the stream later. All right. If you catch them later.